It is time for the trial for the recipe for Turnabouts. The crime was in a restaurante. La restaurant? Il restaurant. Is it feminine or masculine? I do not know. Oh, I see. I guess I should have expected this. Nobody saw the other guy, huh? If you don't know what happened last time, watch the video. You can suffer like I did. But he was there when I took the coffee over, sir. Scout's honor. Maggie. Ah! Detective Gumshoe! Are you doing alright? How you feeling? As if you need to ask any questions, sir. Don't let him get you down, Maggie. And don't forget to eat well, okay? Roger! And you! Yeah? You better square this case away, got it, pal? Maggie's innocent, you hear? If you screw up, then I'll be doing some squaring away myself. Squaring away some paperwork for your arrest. I think he's serious. Yo. Bruh. Hey, detective, you're on our side for once, right? Sure. Yep. So you'll be able to help Maggie out, right? Really? Can you, sir? Of course. I got the situation under control. I'm gonna be the first witness on the stand today. Something I say doesn't mesh with the facts, make sure you point it out, alright? Sure. We're forming a united front today, pal. You get me? I can't tell you how grateful I am, sir. I've always admired you so much, detective. I know I can count on you. Looks like it should all go pretty smoothly today, huh? Can only wish. Court is now in session. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Bitter. Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor? What's wrong? Nothing. It's just whenever I addressed you in the previous trial, your response was, "You's talking to me?" It was a little, well, intimidating. No, that wasn't me. That was the phony Phoenix. I see. So our trusty Phoenix Wright is back with us now, is he? Our trusty? So, Mr. Gatto, your opening statement? Mr. Wright, whether you're a fake or the real deal, you will find out soon enough through this trial today. But I can already tell you I'm the real Phoenix Wright. I wasn't questioning whether you are Phoenix Wright or not. I was questioning whether you had studied law or not. That's what I intend to find out. There's no denying it. Behind this mask is a man who really hates me for some reason or another. Yeah, no kidding. As everyone is aware, the court has already given its verdict on this case once. Therefore, I won't stand for irrelevant testimony during this retrial. Nor will I stand for a simple repetition of the evidence presented in the last trial. I'm not planning on repeating anything that phony me said, trust me. Now then, Mr. Gatto, please summon your first witness. Gumshoe! Let's start with the formalities, shall we? Name and occupation? Witness, state your name before the court. Huh? Oh, sorry, sir. The name's Police Department Detective. Occupation Dick Gumshoe. Other way around, Detective. Huh? Oh, sorry. Anyway, I'm the officer in charge of this case since yesterday, sir. Since yesterday? Yeah, the guy who was on the... I hope Gumshoe's got everything under control. I see. So, Detective Gumshoe, would you outline the court the basic facts of the case? Yes, sir. The victim's name was Glenn O. He was a professional programmer. He was on the payroll for Blue Screens Inc., a local company. This is the victim's autopsy report. Okay. Here are the floor plans for the restaurant. When the incident took place, the victim was sitting right here. Poison coffee was brought over to him by the, waitress. The waitress bringing the accused. Yeah. Victim died from poisoning almost immediately after he took a sip of coffee. At the time of the incident, there were 2 other people in the restaurant. Ah, good one. Mr. Gene Armstrong, the owner and chef. and a regular by the name of Victor Kudo. Still seems a very straightforward case to me. Come, detective, take up this hammer and nail the defendant's coffin shut with your own 2 hands. Detective, let's have your testimony. Yes, sir. Poor Gumshoe, you don't wanna, leave him alone. When the incident took place, the victim was alone at the table, sir. We understand that the guy, Glenn Elk, was listening to the radio at the time. Traces of poison were found in his coffee cup. And what we found was potassium cyanide. That stuff really packs a punch. And, looks like Miss Baird may have, had some kind of motive. Using the dark, aromantic depths of coffee to conceal the poison. Classy lady. Facts of this case seem to be ironclad. Mr. Wright, I would ask you to begin your cross-examination, but... Yes? Please no intimidation tricks this time around. Is that understood? I already told you, that wasn't me! My imposter. What was the, like, alibi? Oh, I had plastic surgery? Can I stop you for just a minute? Huh? What is it? Did I say something? He's so desperate to be true. Your testimony just now doesn't match the testimony given by Miss Bard. She claims there was another man at the victim's table. Yeah, that's what she said. What killer wouldn't say that when faced with a homicide conviction? Hey! Sadly, her testimony isn't supported by the owner or the other customer. Isn't that right, Detective Gumshoe? Yeah, it's true. Their 2 testimonies tie up on that. They both said there was no other guy at the table. Well, maybe the other witnesses just missed him. Perhaps their view of the victim's table was obscured in some way. Huh. That argument is as weak as the coffee at Trebienne, right? I have here in my possession a ticket. A ticket? Yes, a one-way ticket to Guiltyville. Population, the defendant. This is a photograph taken from near the entrance of the kitchen. This is the scene, as witnessed by the chef, moments after the poisoning took place, correct? I think the court will agree that with such a clear view of the scene of the crime. How, Mr. Trite, could have anyone overlooked a second person at the table? Excusez-moi. Oui, oui, bonjour, bonjour, bonjour. So they seem to show the victim's table extremely clearly. He was listening to his radio, you say? Yeah, he had a portable radio in his chest pocket. Maggie told us that too, didn't she? Something about how one of them had some sort of earpiece. What was it that the victim was listening to on the radio, Detective Gumshoe? Huh? How should I know? Thanks a lot. We're now one step closer to the middle of nowhere. This isn't going very well. Tell us about the poison and how it was used. So, traces of poison were found in the coffee cup and nowhere else? Not sure I get you, pal. Was the poison a liquid? Was it a powder? If I had put it in the layman terms, I'd say it was a powdery substance. So the poison could have been in anything that was in the table. Sugar, salt, pepper.
Objection!
Huh. You put salt and pepper in your coffee, Trite? The victim took his coffee black with no sugar. Seems the poison could have only been in the coffee. Are you absolutely certain that the victim even drank any of his coffee? Huh? What do you mean? According to this file, the poison was found in the victim's coffee cup. But what proof is there that the victim ever drank any of it? Oh hey, you're right.
Objection!
In case you were wondering, that last objection was for the detective there. Huh? For me? Oh hey, you're right. You may be fooling the court, but I'm not falling for it. If you have the time to waste, you have the time to present that piece of evidence. That piece, sir? Yeah, that piece. What piece was it again? This. Should I be grateful this coffee's only hot enough to give me first-degree burns? Oh, now I remember. This is the victim's coffee cup. Yeah, the victim's cup. Take a good look at the rim. Oh yes, it's unmistakable. There's clearly a coffee stain. Conclusive proof the victim did drink the poisoned coffee that was in this cup. The victim gulped down the... For the record, the only prints in the cup were the victims and the defendants. You found a certain chemical substance. Potassium cyanide, I've heard of that chemical. Exactly how strong is that poison, Detective Gumshoe? It's, well, that stuff's lethal. Eat too much and your history. How much is too much? Lethal dose is 0.2 grams. That's about enough to finish anyone off. 0.2 grams? How much is that? You know when you swab your ear for earwax? Yeah, about that much. Earwax, huh? Sounds like something Gumshoe's got an abundance of. Some kind of motive? Yeah, but if you ask me, it's been blown way out of proportion.
Objection!
You know what my golden rule is, Detective? Chuck out a bad cup of coffee. You can always get another. Huh? I don't get it. I'm saying we can always get another witness on the stand if we have to chuck you out. So stick to the facts, Detective. Now then, what was Miss Baird's motive? Come on, Gumshoe. She was... They said she wanted to steal a lottery ticket? I knew it. That's what we heard yesterday. It disappeared from the scene of the crime. And it wasn't just any lottery ticket. It was a winning ticket for $500,000. Mr. Armstrong knew about the ticket too, didn't he? But he stole the wrong one. Then, is it possible Maggie stole the winning one? Wait a minute. The mere fact that the lottery ticket disappeared is in no way implicates my client. It's in her pocket. Huh. I have here in my hand the very ticket in question. That's the $500,000 lottery ticket? One of the female police officers found when she was conducting a search of the defendant. What? You wanna, like, tell me these things earlier? Please? Order. Huh. She's quite a lucky bird, our little waitress. You will submit that ticket as evidence to the court immediately. I better keep an eye on that ticket. It's just a scrap of paper. What matters is where it was found, Your Honor. In Maggie's person. The defendant had ample opportunity to commit the crime of which she was charged. Furthermore, it seems beyond reasonable doubt that she did indeed commit this crime. I like an old man who knows the score. There is also the matter of $500,000 lottery ticket. That alone provides a very credible motive. I mean, for that sum of money, even I might be tempted to bend the rules. I don't mind an old man who's weak to the siren call of money. Not good, Nick. The evidence against Maggie is starting to pile up fast. Yeah, that's because the court has ruled guilty once already. I'd say it's about time to wrap up this repeat performance, eh? With one final decisive piece of evidence. He's got more evidence? This is the apron delightful Miss Barrett was wearing at the time. Wow, that's not the cleanest apron I've seen. That stain looks like blood. Huh, seems the star of our play was a little flustered. And somehow spilled coffee on herself. The coffee, that's not exactly the first thing that caught my eye. Of course, the coffee stain isn't the most interesting thing about this apron. No, there's something else there that stands out even more. Of course, I'm referring to the pocket. The search carried out right after the incident uncovered this. Potassium cyanide, the very poison used by the killer, was in her apron pocket. Oh no. Yeah, Maggie's prints were on the only ones on it. What? Where in the court? Ah! There's something still bothering me, Mr. Gatto. Why have you not explained the bloodstain to the court? Bloodstain? What bloodstain would that be? Don't play games, prosecutor. The bloodstain's colored stain that's smeared all over the apron. That's ridiculous. No one told me anything about a bloodstain. You don't need to be told, just look at it. Well, detective, could this stain really be blood? No way, sir. It's just ketchup, sir. Ketchup? She must have gotten some on her apron while taking someone their breakfast that day. In a French restaurant? You could have spoken up a little sooner, Detective Gumshoe. Pull a stunt like that again, and I'll have you drink 17 cups of ketchup, witness. I thought everyone knew what it was already. I haven't seen anything yet to make the doubt last ruling. The motive, yep. Cool. Well, Trey, seems you really are a phony after all. Witness, please continue. Describe for the court the crime scene and the findings. Okay. The crime was reported at 2:25 by a kind of scary old man, sir. Poor Maggie had passed out from the shock. Must have been tough for her. The victim didn't have any identification on him, but we figured out who he was pretty quick, and then the investigation went smoothly. When Maggie researched, we found the lottery ticket and a bottle of poison. That was it. There was nothing else missing from the crime scene. You identified the victim and secured your prime suspect. Very good. Last chance to convince the court you're a real lawyer, Trey. Don't count on any more cross-examinations after this one. So, let the fun begin. Who is this guy? Seriously? Oh my goodness. No wonder I'm so hooked on this game. Sorry, old man. Detective Gumshoe? There's an old man. Yep. Okay, we already know about him. Yep, he threw seeds at him. It was nothing. I caught each one with my teeth. I guess not even the mighty Gatto can avoid being attacked by that guy. Old man was the only other customer in the place at the time. Took his time finding a payphone apparently, so he was late reporting the crime. How long was the defendant unconscious for? Officers got to the crime scene around 2:40. Maggie was still out cold in the kitchen. It took another 10 minutes or so before she came to. Would have liked to have been at the scene myself. Bet you would have liked to have carried out the search, too. I would have loved to see Maggie sleep like that, all pretty and peaceful. Oh my gosh. Every single man. Save the romances for your own time, detective. That's not romantic. That's creepy. All we need to know about is the investigation. Oops. Guess I'm pretty red now, right? Victim didn't have any identification on him, but we figured out who he was pretty quick. Wait, forgot to do this. He didn't have any? Are you saying that it was stolen? No, I don't think so. The victim didn't have a driver's license or even a credit card on him, pal. All he had was 58 cents in his wallet. How is he gonna pay for that? Some kind of outlaw. Why not give him a bit of an edge? I think I'm onto something here. Wait a sec. Huh? Did I say something dumb again? Let me paraphrase. The victim didn't have any form of ID. That's basically what you said. Yeah, basically. In that case, how were you able to identify the victim so quickly? Oh, that. He's so let down. There was a prescription bag on the victim's table along with the lottery ticket. Seems Mr. Glenelg visited his doctor before he went to Turnabout. You got the victim's name from the medical records of the doc who prescribed the meds. That's a reliable enough source. So what sort of medicine was in the bag? Well, actually, the bag we found was empty. Empty? Yeah, completely empty. It was completely empty? Huh! You're entering an empty paper bag as evidence? Desperate, are you, Troy? Now, what happened with the investigation after that, Detective? Oh, there's nothing else to ask about? Okay. But the defendant had been passed out for a while. In that case, is it possible someone planted the evidence? Hey, yeah. You've nailed it, pal. Happens to me all the time. We had a department party the other day when I got home. I was wearing the boss's shoes. Objection! Keep up with crazy testimony, Detective, and those shoes will end up down your throat. Sorry. So it's right. Someone planted the evidence in Maggie's pocket? No. That's a pretty bold statement. Care to back it up with some evidence? Well... appears you have no evidence. Continue with your testimony. So the $500,000 lottery ticket and the bottle of poison were accounted for. Yeah, interesting. It's true that those two items are accounted for, but wasn't there another lottery ticket that was stolen that day? Oh yeah, one of the restaurant owner. He won a whole dollar with it. What a lucky guy, huh? And they're just gonna let him get away with it? There's just $1, Detective. Guess no one cares about it when it's that little, except for Gumshoe. I don't find a hole in the testimony. The judge is gonna hand down his verdict. Maggie and Gumshoe are like Dumb and Dumber. They're so dumb they missed something obvious. Come on, Gumshoe. Be the dumbest you've ever been. So we didn't have any kind of wallet. Okay, hold on. Let me press this one again. So he had nothing on him at all. How was he gonna pay for his coffee? How was he gonna pay for his food? You know, sometimes these games make no sense. I love them, but like... there's nothing else missing. But there was. Time went down between 1:30 and 2:30. How can it... Yeah, I'm not sure where they're going with this. 1:30 and 2:30. So there's something missing. La, 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 la. There's missing medicine! Detective Gumshoe, I think I should point something out to you. There's just one small contradiction. Oh, finally! I'm getting all anxious, just waiting, so hurry up, will ya? You testified that nothing else was missing from the crime scene. However, the prescription bag you mentioned was empty. Did the officers recover the medicine from the scene of the crime later? No, they didn't. The victim was given a prescription right before going to Turnabout. Where then did the medicine disappear to? You are too cool, pal. Indeed, due consideration wasn't given to the victim's prescription in the previous trial. Witness, why do you always overlook such vital pieces of evidence? I guess that's the most careless thing I've done so far, huh? The victim was killed by poison, and the victim's medicine mysteriously disappeared. The victim's own prescription could have been the lethal poison itself. Oops. Well, Mr. Gatto, what do you have to say to that? Huh. That's all. What? Read for the court the name of the clinic on the prescription bag, if you will. What's the clinic's name got to do with anything? The Hottie Clinic? New Ear... Odal... What? Huh? Just what kind of illness was the victim suffering from, Mr. Gatto? Hardly an illness, Your Honor. More like a bitter war wound, you could say. A war wound? The day before the incident, Mr. Alec found himself in a fight. He took a blow to the side of the head and ruptured his eardrum. He ruptured his eardrum? Then what on earth was the prescription he was given? It was a cream that was to be applied topically inside his ear canal, not to be ingested. What? It's mentioned in the autopsy report if you read the fine print. They found the traces of the medication in the victim's left ear. Yes, here it is, in very, very fine print. Seems Mr. L correctly applied some of his medication while he was at Turnabout. Therefore, it would be absurd to believe that he would have eaten his medication. Seems this medication is irrelevant to the case. No. Nick, if you don't think of something quick, it'll all be over. She's right. Can't get away with any weak objection. Let me save my progress. Alright, my friends. Amigos, here we go. Push it. Only moments ago, Mr. Gatto made the following statement. It seems Mr. L correctly applied some of his medication while he was at Turnabout. If that's the case, then why was the medication not found at the scene of the crime? But the medication in question was for topical use inside the ear canal. That doesn't change the fact that it could not be found at the crime scene. However insignificant it may seem, it's a lawyer's duty to pursue the truth. You know as well as I do that the medication is irrelevant. It hardly seems likely that a prescription jug would contain potassium cyanide. It hardly seems likely that the coffee the waitress served would contain it either. But it did. The possibility is undeniable. That's enough. Mr. Gatto, is the detective the only witness the prosecution wishes to call? Mr. Gatto? I got my own witness I'd like to call, sir. It's the old man who was there at the restaurant on the day of the murder. Ew, not him. The pigeon hater? Very well, the matter of sparing medication seems to be more than trivial at best, however. wasn't explored at all in the previous trial. That is something that bothers me. Yay! Good job, Nick. The court will adjourn for a 10-minute recess. Huh. I suppose this means I'll just finish you off in my last 6 cups. Court is adjourned. Phew! That was close. Tell me about it. I nearly died in there. That's my line, sir. No, it's my line. I think I really did die a little bit. Looks like we all nearly died. I can't believe Detective Gumshoe. How could he betray us like that? Huh? He said he'd help me. He totally set me up. I don't think he meant to do that, Maggie. He was blocked into a corner. I mean, that guy's got to do his job. It's okay. I know all about lies and betrayal. I've had them my whole life. It really hurt this time. Felt like someone punched me hard in the stomach. I hate that guy. I don't want to see him ever again. Poor Gumshoe. So the next witness is going to be that old guy from the park. Yeah, Mr. Kudo. Lover of waitress outfits and projectile seeds. I bet he's going to be really stubborn. I mean, he's pretty set in his ways, you know? Yeah, he's a big old grouch. You going to be able to handle him, Nick? Yeah, I can take whatever he throws at me. Even those never-ending bird seeds. Court will now reconvene for the trial of Maggie Beard. Mr. Gatto, your next witness. Prosecution calls the lucky old-timer who caught the show over a cup of coffee. Will the witness please take the stand? Yee. I hate you. Name and occupation, if you don't mind.
Name's Victor Kudo, born and bred in the land of the rising sun. Honor and duty are what make me. Mind you, I can be quite emotional.
We don't need to hear about that, Mr. Kudo.
My occupation? Ha! Listen, youngin. How you call you?
Come on, what?
That's what I do, or did back in Japan. I embroidered family crests and kimonos. My ancestors were embroidering kimonos before this country even existed.
Wow, really craftsmen. They're a dying breed. Maybe he could embroider my costume.
Anyway, like I said, there's not much demand for that kind of thing.
I don't know if I can do this. So I had to take a job working at the cash register at the burger joint, pretending to smile. That burger joint would have been better off putting him in the kitchen. Now then, were you in the restaurant? Yes, I was eating some seeds over a cup of Javachino. Seeds? What do you think these are, I see. So you saw everything that happened, Gramps? Did I? Oh yes, I did. I saw it all. Then please tell the court. We're all ears.
Sure. I'll tell you every last detail.
He's really getting into this. La 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 la. Alright. The young man was reading the sports paper. The servant girl brought him Javachino, but she put something in it. The man took one sip, looked like he was in terrible pain, and then collapsed. That's the servant girl, right? There's in the defendant's chair. I remember her well. She's not a servant girl. Please refer to her as a waitress.
Ha! You're as bad as the rest of them. All these newfangled words. What's wrong with old-fashioned ones?
Newfangled?
All this talk of radios and glasses. It's wireless and spectacles, I tell ya.
Excuse me.
Listen to me, everyone. Don't forget the old values. Don't forget the good old days. Slip away.
I think it's time to begin the cross-examination. Yes, Your Honor. I don't wanna talk to you. You're creepy. She saw the victim then. Glen Egg. I want to know if Gustin Braun retained his championship or not. So he was looking at the sports paper. At the location. There are partitions. What if there are? If you say you could see the victim, that means you were sitting at the table on the other side of the restaurant? Ah, I go to that place to drink Javachino. I don't go to sit. I don't remember which table I was at. You mean you were there to eye the waitress? Creep. Mr. Kudo, that is a very grave accusation. Are you sure about what you saw?
Victor Kudo never makes mistakes. I dot every T and cross every I.
I see.
My eyesight's fine. The doctor said I only need spectacles for reading and driving.
I bet his eyes are only really fine when he's scoping out a waitress.
I saw what the servant girl put in the Javatino as well.
Your Honor, we need more clarification on what was put into the victim's coffee. I'd like to ask the witness, Dad, what he knows about this to his testimony.
There's no question. She very much put some white powder in there.
Did she really put that into the coffee?
You doubt me, boy? She took some out of the small brown bottle and sprinkled it in.
Couldn't she have been adding sugar?
Sugar? In a small brown bottle like that?
Like that. Witness, could you please describe the bottle in more concrete terms?
Huh. A bottle like this, perhaps? Oh, there it is. That's the one.
That's the potassium cyanide.
So what did the accused put in the coffee? I think it's clear, don't you?
He took just one sip.
You onions, you waste everything. Those Javatinos cost $8.
So, it was an immediate death? Well, with potassium cyanide, I suppose that is possible.
Oh yes, he slumped over without as much as a twitch. Fell on the Javatino and just drunk like
Ah yes, I know that feeling. And the waitress, I presume she is... You said I remember her well in reference to the waitress. Did she have any particular features that you can identify her by?
Particular features? It's a disgrace, that's what it is.
Sorry?
You can see all the way up to her, you know. She's practically naked in that uniform.
So the particular feature you recognize about the waitress is her outfit? Anyone could wear such a uniform, even me. Mr. Wright, please spare the court any further mental anguish from that image.
Don't get all excited, Nick. You've got to keep yourself together.
I guess I got a bit carried away.
Yeah, there are other things I recognize about her, too.
Sure, you saw a waitress take the coffee over to the victim. But what matters is whether that waitress was Maggie Beard or not. Quite right. Mr. Kudo, these other features that you recognize about the defendant, I would ask you to add them to your testimony.
Sure.
You do seem to remember several details about her appearance. What about the most crucial of all, her face?
As if I remember that.
The witness noticed the straps on the accused apron. He's unlikely to make a mistake about her face.
That's right, I can even tell you the color ribbon of her hair. It was red.
So you see, there's nothing wrong with the witness's eyesight. The features describe all the see from the back.
So what?
Is it possible that you never saw the waitress from the front at all?
Objection!
Huh. He's got you there, Gramps. People normally talk about facial features when they're asked to describe someone. This witness testimony is nothing but straps and ribbons.
This is harassment. I tell you I'm not obsessed with straps and ribbons. I'm telling you what I saw.
Mr. Gooder, the court requests that you add details about any identifying features you observed from the front.
Sure.
This old man's testimony is getting longer and longer. If I can't find a hole in it soon, it'll get even longer, I bet. You didn't find anything to be distinct, but you did clearly see the witness's face?
No question about it. Didn't come this far to back down. Victor Kudo never backs down.
That's not the answer. This has turned into a matter of pride. What if he really did see Maggie's face? Like I thought, we need some concrete proof. So we have to figure out, Nick. When did you... Hold on. I feel like he might remember there being stains. Objection, Your Honor. Mr. Kudo, I would like you to please look at this. Ah, that filthy thing would suit filth like you just perfectly. Actually, it reminds me what my grandson looks like, just after he's done eating. Have you ever seen this before? Of course I haven't. Think I'd forget something as dirty as that? Well, you half-witted clot. What? There's been eerie silence. Mr. Kudo, this apron is the apron worn by the defendant on the day of the poisoning. And as you just said yourself, you wouldn't forget something like this. Which means if you had really seen this apron before... Yes, you know what I'm getting at. You couldn't have possibly seen the waitress from the front. Oops. Witness, you can't just oops your way out of this. Huh. Well, well. Looks like we finally have a genuine trial on our hands. You lost the last one. Listen, Shrite, here are the facts. On the day of the incident, there was one waitress in the restaurant. That being the defendant. Exactly. When that one waitress put the poison into the coffee cup, this old guy was watching. I hope you understand the gravity. The fate of the defendant may rest on what you say you remember seeing. Just tell the court exactly what you saw, Gramps. You can rely on me, Captain. My noggin's in perfect working order. You can't remember? What? How good. Tell us what you remember about the victim. She's sitting right there. That doesn't work. Whatever. He was another one of those pesky young types wearing a broken pair of spectacles. He had a newspaper in his right hand, and a nosy brat kept rustling his pages. The young man was listening to the wireless, that well. Then the serving girl in question brought over the Javachino. The little fidget picked up the cup with his free hand and took a sip. Okay. We only need to do one thing. We just need to prove the old man's memory is shot. Trip him up, you mean? Isn't that kind of cool? Suppose, but it's what I do best. He was drawing in the magazine, bro. He was drawing. Hold on, let me save quick. He was drawing. Ah. Caramba, caramba. Hey. Nope, they don't like that. So I guess I have to press first. Oh, but pressing's so much work. Why can't I just present the evidence now? The newspaper was sports paper, was it? That young hooligan. Can you even read without fidgeting? I wasn't supposed to be able to read the back page with all the rustling. I needed to find out if Gus and Brown retained his championship title. It was his paper. What did I know so bad? Why didn't you buy your own? What are you looking at me like that for? Ow! Gus and Brown was beaten yesterday, by the way. The wireless. I'm meant to read the paper or listen to the wireless. You don't get to do both. sorry. I got nothing. It's just funny. The Javachino. You're one of those, are you? Never let anything go. Maybe. What does it matter if I saw it from the front or the behind? Those eyes don't lie. Ow! Stop throwing things at me. His free hand? Yeah. Which hand was that? Were you listening, Clothiers? I said he was rustling the paper with his right hand. If his free hand wasn't his right hand, it was his other hand. Ow. Huh. Perhaps the great Mr. Trite has 3 hands. Yeesh. Spectacles? Dark glasses to you. One of the lenses was green, but the other one was broken. Newfangled rubbish, that's why I remember him so well. He did have some kind of lens over his left eye, but I wouldn't call it a pair of glasses. I would take some... Better come up with something sharp, quick! Guess I'll wait and see if I should challenge him about the spectacles. Okay, what do I have here to work with? I think I pressed everything. He didn't. Was he right-handed? Okay, it's gonna. Maybe it'll have something to do with what hand he. Hold on. Hold on. Let me see the mug. Mr. Kudo, do you remember what you were told us at the start of the testimony? That this was a way of testing the credibility of your memory. I know. There's nothing wrong with my memory. I tell you nothing. If I got anything wrong, I'll eat these seeds and sing the pigeon song. Care to tell us where this is going, Trite? According to Mr. Kudo, the victim was holding the paper in his right hand, while drinking coffee with his free hand, which would make that his left. What's this, kindergarten? I'd like the court to please look at this. Yes, in the rim you'll notice the mark left by the victim's lips. Yes, there's a stain. If you consider where the stain is, you'll clearly see the victim was holding the cup in his right hand. Well, Mr. Kudo, the court is waiting for your epic performance. You said you'd eat those seeds and sing the pigeon song. Mr. Kudo, I'm afraid this is simply not acceptable. I think the witness... Wait! You think I'm going to stand here and listen to you tell me I'm mad? You're wrong. I don't care about the dirty coffee cup. I know what I saw. You still insist on your testimony? The young brat was holding the cup in his left hand. Oh yes, no question. I'm a good law-abiding citizen. It's that dead young hotbot, you. And you spiky-haired yahoo, you're at fault. Me? Thank you, old man. I've heard quite enough. Don't call me old man. I've been around 68 years. You can't ignore me. Listen to what I have to say. Sorry, Mr. Kudo, but... Sure. Why not hear a little more? Mr. Goto. But this is my 16th cup of coffee. So this is your final stand. Thank you, Captain. You can rely on Victor. What is he doing? He's so weird. So weird. The boy was wearing the earpiece on the same side as the green lens of his specs. He kept fiddling with it all the time. He was fiddling with it just before he picked up the cup, too. Then he used the same hand to pick up the cup, his left hand. We know the victim was wearing an unusual monocle over his left eye. It wasn't a monocle, Your Honor. It was a small computer monitor, often used by programmers. A monitor? You mean like a television screen? The inside of the lens is a screen that displays computer data. It's called an HMD. It's a common tool in the victim's line of work.
All these newfangled letters driving me mad.
It's true, he doesn't seem to be lying.
Those are the facts in good old black and white.
So the victim was wearing an HMD.
What does it matter?
None of them, actually, but you're sure that he was wearing the earpiece on the same side?
No question. I couldn't see that side of the head from where I was sitting. I could see it.
Yeah, that's pretty obvious when you look at the floor plans. From the opposite table, you'd only have view of the side of the victim's head. Seems you kept an eye on him.
He was getting on my nerves. Rustling that newspaper and fiddling with his earpiece all the time. Then he went and made all the fuss dying from one sip of Javachino. I just want to say to him, calm down, you young brat. Just look at him made me suddenly speed up my seed eating. I could have choked.
Nervous energy. The earpiece you mentioned, which hand did the victim touch it with?
You're one of those people, are you? You're the type that uses your left hand to get things out of your right pocket. Fastens your left cuff with your right hand. When the tour guide says on your right side, you'll see the famous blah blah. You're the one who deliberately looks left. Well, aren't ya?
No, I didn't mean...
Obviously, you used the hand the same side of his body that the earpiece was in.
Ow. Stop throwing seeds at me. Something's not right. You seem very sure of yourself, Mr. Kudo.
That's because I know what I saw, no matter what tricks you try to play on me.
Trying to think. Which... Really? Okay. I don't like you very much, old man. You're kind of annoying. Just thought you should know. This game's like a torture chamber, but you can always come back. Oh wait, the floor plan. That's good. Wasn't he trying to read it? How could he read it if it were... Fiddling with just the earpiece? Oh, he was putting ear stuff in. Duh. Bruh. I'm not sure what the relevance of this is, but... Mr. Kudo, there's something very strange about your observations. I forgot about the ear infection. What? You say he was wearing the earpiece on the same side as the HMG. No question. You can lock me up if I'm wrong. It's about his left ear, without a doubt. Could only see that side of his head from where I was sitting. I don't think so. What did you say? You're no doubt unaware of this fact. But the victim couldn't hear with his left ear. The eardrum was ruptured. Yeah. Eh? Traces of medication for his condition were found in the ear canal. That's right. It's impossible that the victim was wearing his earpiece in his left ear. Because he couldn't even hear in that ear. Is that true, Captain? It is. Pigeon! Pretty pigeon! What? Pretty pigeons! This witness's testimony is completely unreliable. He only saw the waitress from behind. And he claims the victim was wearing an earpiece when he wearing an earpiece when he knew his eardrum was ruptured. Sure. Well, Mr. Gatto? A single drop of milk is all it takes to destroy the pure black magic in the cup. This old man is my drop of milk. I can't. Captain, you calling me a trip? This is the victim's coffee cup in which the potassium cyanide was found. The mark on the rim clearly shows the victim picked it up with his right hand. I'll never back down. I know I'm right. The lad drank the Duftino with his left hand. Let me put you out of your misery. Clearly, the victim used both hands. He took a sip of the cup with his right hand and then switched to his left. That's what the old man saw. Impossible. The witness had already testified on numerous occasions that the victim died immediately after taking just one sip of the coffee. Which hand the victim used to pick up his cup is irrelevant, Your Honor. The facts still stand. With one hand or the other, Mr. L drank the poisoned coffee. Like this. Say, Mr. Gatto, that doesn't wash. The point of this testimony was to establish whether the witness's memory is credible. And the results are clear. The testimony given by this witness is useless. I believe it is time to conclude today's proceedings. I am satisfied that the witness is not deceiving the court. But to be frank, his testimony is a farce.
Did you have to be so frank? Take that, you pompous old man.
I'm sorry, Mr. Kudo. You can't reach me from there. I'm ordering the defense and the prosecution to investigate this case further. That is all for now. This court is adjourned.
Wait! If we stop now, where does that leave me?
Leave you, Mr. Kudo?
Thanks to that blue-suited young upstart over there. I'm just bambling old man who can't even dot his T's or cross his I's now.
How is your bad memory my fault? I'm so sorry, Mr. Kudo, but there's nothing I can do.
I've kept my mouth shut.
Oh no. There's something else the court should know. What? There's more?
To be perfectly honest, it might not be anything, but I want another chance. I want another crack at you, you young shark.
Me? He's looking at me like I'm some sort of evil shogun. Well, everyone, what do you say to one final showdown? Sorry, Gramps. I've already had my 17 cup of coffee. What have you got to lose, Captain? I'll give you all the Javachino you want if you come to my house after the trial. I may be 68 years old, but Victor Kudo is still a man.
That's enough, witness. I believe it will be quicker for the court to just hear your testimony.
You bet, much quicker.
I can't believe this is happening.
You better get ready, youngster.
I get the picture. Just quit throwing those seeds at me. There's more. I thought we were done. Okay.
The final showdown. First of all, I want to stress that this may be nothing, though I'm not too sure myself. The young boy slumped over the table as soon as he took a sip of his Javachino. While the clumsy idiot upset the vase, he knocked it right over. It broke, and the strip of cloth covering the table got completely soaked. Well, how about that? Turn things upside down?
Is that all?
Yeah, that's all. I remember perfectly. You're doubting me again?
No, we are not doubting you.
Don't you get the feeling there's a question hanging on everyone's lips?
Yeah. So what? Probably. That's all I can think of, and I have cross-examined this guy.
You're a bird brain. That's why all you can think. That's all you can think of.
Okay.
Let me save quick. I remember seeing that vase upright. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Like, huh? Mr. Kudo, this is a photograph of the crime scene? So what? Look carefully at the table. The vase is there intact. Huh? Lost your tongue, Granddad? I'm no granddad of yours, Hopscotch.
Ow! Rude. Enough. If you throw any more seeds...
Ah!
What is it now?
I just remembered something.
Yeah, go on.
The broken vase. It was on my table.
What?
Well, you see, it startled me when the young lad collapsed. I stood up. That must have been when it fell over. The vase on my table.
The vase on your table?
Yeah, it was on my table. That was how my...
Oh, goodness. Was that actually for nothing? That was exciting. Thank you, Mr. Kudo. You've certainly earned your kudos for today.
I'd like to ask a question now. Have I, been any use at all?
Perhaps that's something you should reflect on yourself, Mr. Kudo.
Wait a minute. That's the case, there's more I've got to say. Oh yes, I remember something else.
Bailiff, escort the witness out of the courtroom.
Wait, listen to me.
That was actually a waste of time. Well, we seem to have been considerably sidetracked, and I'm still not in the position to deliver a verdict. The defendant has not been positively identified as the waitress in question. Additionally, there are two disparities in the testimony we have heard thus far. The mark on the coffee cup that the victim supposedly drank from with his left hand, and the earpiece which was inserted into his left ear, out of which he couldn't hear.
Wow, Nick, you did it.
I therefore require both the defense and prosecution to further investigate the facts. Yes, Your Honor. There's one more thing before I call today's session to an end. One more thing, Your Honor? The witness we just heard it from. He's most insistent that his testimony should be of use. So he summarized it accordingly in this statement. Okay. You may each have a copy of it if you wish. Whatever. Prosecution doesn't need props like that. God, I was really mad, huh? Yeah, I would be too. Very well. Here you are then, Mr. Wright. There are 3 copies. My own, yours, and Mr. Gatto's. Yes, Your Honor. When the incident occurred, I broke the vase in my seat. I'm sorry. This isn't a piece of testimony, more like a 5-year-old's apology.
What the heck are we supposed to do with 3 copies?
That is all. The court is adjourned. That was absurd. What the heck just happened?
La 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 la. Well, next time we're gonna do some more investigating and hopefully figure out what the heck is going on. Jeez.